In this video, I'll showcase a few clips from a discussion I had with an AI developer where we talk about the future of work for people, what it means in terms of opportunities for businesses, and how the AI and the coming robots are going to be more economically viable for businesses a lot sooner than people think. People think that it's going to cost a bit for AI and particularly for robots, but the fact of the matter is humans are actually very expensive when you consider the fact that we do not work 24/7, and we also need lots of supportive structures like HR and time off and policies and everything else that comes with it. So in our school community, showcasing AI for business, what we do is we sit down with a developer who's building AI solutions for their clients and implementing AI into other businesses to peel back the curtain to give you ideas and show you how other businesses are making use of AI. So it's a great place to get some inspiration and to meet some developers. So these are some clips from that discussion with Jake, a Silicon Valley developer who's building his own SaaS product, Right Zero. Let's dive in with the first clip.
But yeah, if you're talking about longer term, as these tools get better, it really does kind of make you wonder what is it that humans should be working on? What are we supposed to be working on if we're strictly worse at sort of knowledge work tasks that we're used to doing? My belief is that human connection and community are never going to go away, and the demand for real, genuine human content is going to only increase over time. So that's why I've kind of focused in on content creation.
Well, my wife gave birth a month ago. So we're in the hospital, and you're never going to be able to replace the human connection of having human nurses. I have robots to help with some of the stuff, but in healthcare settings, you want humans there. So in that first clip, Jake and I are discussing what it means for human work when AI becomes a lot more capable and better than us at the knowledge work stuff. And we believe it's going to be about human connection. It's still going to be really important. We're still going to want to watch other people. We're still going to want to watch other people play sports. And particularly in healthcare settings and things like that, the human connection is still going to be extremely important. So there is going to be entire industries that are not going to be as affected by AI. There's still going to be a need for people to want to watch and interact and deal with and be treated by other humans. However, there is an awful lot of white collar knowledge work jobs that are going to be completely displaced by AI, but there are still lots of opportunities, and we are quite positive on the future of what it means for people being able to start their own businesses, which is some of the stuff that we talk about in the latter part of our discussion. If you do want to see the full discussion, by the way, you can go to my school community. It is up there the entire hour, and we talk about so much more than just what's in these clips. These are just a few nuggets of information to give you a flavor of the kind of things that we discuss. Okay, let's check out the next clip.
And maybe AI first corporations and businesses will outcompete the older ones, the slower moving ones, but it could end up being that like the best configuration for a business is 0 humans. And it's kind of some ideas that I'm playing around with 0-person businesses, stuff that you can just build once and basically runs itself. And there's still going to be lots of businesses that, as they're trying to transition to this new period, are going to need help with that transition.
So in this clip, Jake is talking about the potential future of 0-people businesses, which means that people can now compete with more established businesses for a couple of reasons. One, you don't need to hire as many staff if you're good at training and making use of AI agents. And a lot of the tech executives from the Mag 7, I think it is Sam Altman and one of the others, has got a bet on when the first $1 billion 0-person company will be created. So they believe that this is going to happen, just like what Jake is saying there. So not only is the opportunity to disrupt bigger players because smaller people can come in and make use of agents that can scale rather than paying for people, making it more affordable to start up businesses. But it also means that these legacy businesses are going to potentially be slower at implementing some of the AI infrastructure. Some of the consultation I'm doing at the moment is with a big, large business, and they have some legacy systems that they've had embedded into their business since day one. And in order to change it, they not only need to retrain the staff to change it, but they also have to win hearts and minds around the change and do a whole load of change management. And they're going to have to do quite a complex build and integration into all of their current systems in order to bring in any new system that is capable of leveraging AI. So if you're starting from scratch, you don't have any of that baggage, and it means that you can quite quickly take over an industry. This is what usually happens with disruptive tech. Think about Blockbuster having lots of physical stores and lots of physical DVDs. That became a burden when online streaming became a thing, and Netflix, starting from scratch, didn't have any of that burden, and they didn't have to display staff, didn't have to retrain staff, etc. They could just start and become really disruptive. So the thing is, disruptive tech is the opportunity. It is the window of opportunity for new businesses to rethink traditional industries and to start up and completely dominate. And it can be very hard for traditional businesses to be able to adapt and change quick enough. So if you do want to start a new business, this is your moment now, because AI is going to be really disruptive, and it brings in lots of opportunities for you to be the disruptor. The next one will probably be robots as well. So there's more coming, but we do want to jump on this opportunity right now if you've got an idea. So let's check out the next clip. I was going to say that's not as far off as people think, because of some people call the AI paradox. I call it the volume-driven superiority of AI. So yeah, the robots might be expensive, but the thing is, human employees are expensive as well, because you've got all the supportive functions around human employees, HR departments. You've got the amount of time human employees are on leave or even resting, so not working 24/7. They're working 8 hours a day, not 24 hours a day. They take time off. The complexity around just team inefficiencies of people not getting along. Then you've got recruitment to think about, and you've got benefits, you've got pensions to pay, all the headache that comes with humans. So in this clip, I'm talking about the volume-driven superiority of AI. I'm explaining how it is actually quite burdensome and expensive for an organization to hire people. Not only do they have to go through recruitment and find the right people, but they also need to then set up contracts. So there's legal work, you need a HR team. That person needs pension, benefits, time off. They're only working, I say only working, but they're working 8 hours a day. A robot or an AI can be scaled up and down as needed. You can have more agents or less agents. Basically, it can scale instantly. You don't need any of the human supportive structures like HR and stuff like that, and etc. I won't labor that point too much, but what I'm getting at is, in order to employ a human and to bring new humans into your team, it takes time and it takes a lot of responsibility, and it can be very costly. Now, if you've got an AI agent that, say, isn't quite as good at the task as an expert employee, then the thing is, because the agent is effectively so much cheaper, and so will the robot be, because of all of those supportive functions and other things that a business needs to do in order to keep an actual human employee employed. Economically, for the business, even if the robot or the agent isn't as good one-to-one with the human, what it means is, everything else considered, it's still better to go with the agent or the robot. And this is what the AI superiority, volume-driven superiority is. I've got a video about exactly this on my school community and on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description below this video to explain a bit more about this concept. And if that doesn't worry you, I don't know what should, if you're an employee and you got to realize that businesses are going to be looking at this technology, and they're probably going to be making the decision that it's more economically viable to bring in the technology than the people. Now, at the moment, we're in assisted AI territory. So AI is actually there to help you do your job better, but we will be moving to an AI first model where businesses are thinking about agents first rather than employing staff first. Now, don't worry too much, because things are going to evolve. There will be opportunities for people, and we do talk about business opportunities and stuff a little bit later in this video as an example, but there are going to be changes in the nature of work, some of them for the better, and unfortunately some of them are going to be disruptive. Okay, I won't go on too much more about that, but if you do want to follow the discussions that we have on the school community, we do talk about this kind of stuff quite a lot. And I do have courses on career, helping you to get your CV up to date and everything for those people that might need to have a career shift. And I do have a course on AI as well on Udemy. I'll put the links in the description. Let's check out the next clip.
And on a broader sense, I kind of view the next decade as maybe a decade for entrepreneurs, that people that are going to see, the average plumber is making, let's say, 200K a year doing this, and let's say I can buy a robot for 100,000, and I can rent it out to go do stuff. So you can build a business. I'd say this decade is going to largely benefit people that can come up with the clever ways to do service-based businesses, but rethink them from the ground up with AI and robotics. There's always going to be some arbitrage opportunities. Like the analogy I would use is, right now there's frontier model providers in AI for LLMs. They can't focus in really deeply on specific use cases. Like, let's say somebody who creates LinkedIn videos or YouTube videos and LinkedIn posts, and what are their problems? Well, it might not be the case that the best possible solution is going to be one that is born of a general LLMs. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities like that, where if you have specific knowledge, domain expertise in a certain area, and like good taste, that kind of stuff, and just business skills.
Niching down is the key, because bigger companies are not going to want to niche down because there's not enough market there. But if you're a small team or a one person, then there is, even though you've niched down, there's still enough people to maybe fund your lifestyle. Whereas a big company, it's just not worth them attacking. Stay lean and niche down. Okay, so that clip shows Jake's optimism about what it means for us to be able to start new businesses. So maybe the nature of the work won't be from working for other people, but we're all going to have the opportunity to start a niche business. And that is the other point to that clip, is niche. So we can't compete against Google and OpenAI. They're creating the frontier models, but what we can do is we can make use of those frontier models. We can make use of the agents that they're making and rethink businesses, like I explained earlier in this video about the disruption that's coming, and the fact that if you're starting from scratch, you can actually displace legacy businesses because you don't have the baggage that they do. And also, bigger businesses are not going to be able or interested in smaller niche things. But you, as a small team or even a solo entrepreneur, can make a living utilizing AI and agents through automation and having agents in your team, and build something that will sustain a nice, profitable lifestyle for you working for yourself. And it's not going to be profitable enough for the bigger companies to consider. So all of these little cottage industry type niche things, if you've got any specific knowledge to solve a problem for very niche people, you might be able to actually earn a decent living servicing a small community of people, leveraging AI to help to automate and build that business for you, which previously wasn't possible, because in order to supply a service like that, you would have had to have employed employees, and that has a certain cost to it and a certain difficulty with it. Well, now it's going to be easier because we can make use of AI. So it also means, from a consumer's point of view, that there's going to be lots of options for small things that we currently struggle with today, that people are going to come along and fix for us with their own small businesses. So this really is becoming an opportunity for you to start a business and to make use of the AI technology to actually get that business off the ground, make it automated and make it profitable whilst keeping costs low. Let's check out the next clip.
At a point where there's virtually no difference between my tech, like let's say somebody's a product person and they understand how to solve problems and how to approach the design of the product. So all else equal, if like there's somebody like that that's really skilled at that versus somebody like me or I'm not a great example because I kind of focus on all of it, but somebody who has the technical aspects but hasn't focused on actual product development or product design, I would go with the product person in 5 years. That's probably a better person to build that kind of stuff.
So in this final clip, it's from a portion of the video when we're talking about these AI builders like Replit, Lovable, Google AI Studio, and how good they're getting. They're getting to the point where they're super accessible for anybody to just ask the agent what they want, and it can go and build that for you. And it is potentially really disruptive for SaaS businesses, which is another video that I've made. Again, a link in the description below this video to check that out. And what Jake is saying here is that people that have coding experience, well, you don't really need to code anymore. You can actually ask these agents to code for you. But what you do need is a bit of development experience, because you're going to run into some errors and some problems, and you're kind of working with the AI agent at this point to explain and to build what you want. An AI agent is going to get stuck. However, as Jake was saying in our chat on the school community, the AI agents are getting really, really, really good at not getting stuck and being able to build things and solve their own problems. In fact, Replit has just released a new update where they have an agent inside of their builder that then, after it's built the prototype for you, the agent actually does the user testing, and it can actually feed back to itself whether the build that it made is actually functioning correctly or not, and then it can find out, okay, it's not working quite as expected, and then go and fix it, which is absolutely incredible. So it's just showing how quickly this technology is moving. Now, Jake says in 5 years, you won't even need the development experience. I think it might even be sooner than that. So what is really key is knowing what to build and having the business acumen, because you're not going to need the experience of development experience to build the things that you want. What you need to know is what is useful for people, what is a good business opportunity. And even then, you can build these things so quickly, for so cheaply, put them out on the market as a beta, test it, and find out if it actually has any real world value, if it's got any legs. And if it does, then double down on it. So the opportunity for just random people, anybody, is becoming really, really, really strong, because we no longer need to go hire expensive developers or expensive development teams to get our vision, our business idea at least out there and tested to see if it's actually a decent idea or not. So I'm going to wrap the video up here with some optimism. This is where things are going. You need to start thinking a bit more entrepreneurially, because there is such a good opportunity to build businesses, whether it's the next SaaS product, or even if it's just a small business serving a small community of people, but that still pays for your lifestyle and your bills and can still be very, very successful. Okay, so we also talk in that video mainly about the SaaS products that Jake is building called Write Zero, which is a tool that takes videos like from YouTube and can cut them up and turn them into viral Twitter threads. So if you're interested in that kind of tech, we do talk about it for about half an hour in that talk. And then the other latter half an hour, we really get into future predictions about where AI is going. Like I say, we do these talks every single week, and my aim is to bring in developers that are building applications and AI systems for their clients, and it really gives you an idea of how other businesses are making use of AI and also what is possible. So do consider checking us out on School, and I do post the full videos if you want to see them on there with timestamps, so you can just jump to the bit that you want to see. If you want to chat to me about any AI problems that you've got for your business, or you want some AI consultation or some bespoke one-to-one or one-to-staff training, then check out learnmanagementonline.com to see my services there. And I've also got a Udemy course as well that you can check out and buy for quite cheap on AI for business. So do consider following me on YouTube and Learn Management Online and LinkedIn to follow my content. So I'm going to bring out more nuggets of information like this as often as I can. Thanks for watching. Do leave a comment and do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.